Welcome to the March 18th, 2019 NAPI team meeting. We'll follow our standard agenda of going through what we've got in the current milestone. Let me just share that. I guess before we do that, is there any other business or topics people want to put on the agenda for today?
No, I think I'm okay. I don't know about anybody else.
No, okay. Right, so first of the list is a separate additional package on top of Node.js. We had a little bit of a discussion last week. I don't know if there's been any more discussion in the issue since then. So I guess, Hitesh, you were going to take in a first cut at approaching a description of the two approaches.
Yeah, so I have a doc in progress. I wasn't able to finish it up over the weekend, but I'll send that out after this meeting.
Okay, sounds good. And then we'll go from there. The TFSN backports, Gabriel, anything interesting on that front?
No, only that they've landed for 10. I don't believe they've landed for 8.
Okay.
So that's still going on. I'm going to check if there's been any rebases and pushes and stuff. But last I checked, there was a green CI. So
okay, that's good. Okay, focus on async workers. So I think, Gabriel, the next step we had on that was the PR you were working on and the issues on Mac. What's the latest on that?
So I submitted that PR to Node.js for default hidden, and I've had some discussion with Richard Lau, but it just kind of stopped there. So I don't know where can we raise the issue to get more attention on this, because the other thing I was testing is to just introduce this like NAPI local keyword or something like that basically results in visibility hidden, and then just add that to the entire API that we export. So I don't know which approach is better, but yeah, it would be nice to get some more discussion. I don't know, should I just ping Matteo and Anna and them, because I did ping Node.js and API where Anna is a member, and yet there was no response. So
yeah, on the Node.js front, it's kind of a different group though, right?
Right. So
like, I'm trying to think who's most active on that front.
But it's not Node.js because it affects add-ons, right? So it's not it's not Node.js itself. It's not the mechanics of Node.js that are affected. It's the results that it has or the effect that it has on add-ons henceforth. So it's kind of Node core, but the configuration info just happens to be stored in Node.js.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to.
It should be the core, folks.
Maybe try pinging Matteo and see if he's got any input.
Okay. Right. Can do.
I think the other thing we wondered about was templating, like, because the templating ends up making it hidden, right?
Well, I actually tried that, and it doesn't, because even though it's templated, the result it's templated exactly the same way in both cases, right?
Okay.
Because it's two different copies of the add-on, so there is symmetry, all the way down, kind of thing. No matter what you do, you're going to end up doing the same thing in both add-ons.
Okay, so it's basically that's not an option. It's
really yeah. It really needs to be hidden. So yeah, and I've also resumed tracking down the seg fault, because at some point we have a reference to the error. So errors are kind of weird in Node.js API. They are references, but they reference a value which is stored inside it. So it's a really strange way. Basically, error extends object reference for some reason in Node.js API, and so it's stored as a reference, the error, and probably so that you don't have to worry about scope, because errors can be they can be thrown and stuff, and so that should put a number on the scope if they were just plain NAPI values. So that's probably why they're references. But what's happening is in this case, when you dereference it, so when you retrieve the value of it, you get like a null. So the value of the NAPI value is null. And a null NAPI value will result in a null V8 value, which will eventually result in a sec fault.
Right.
And so I'm trying to figure out exactly what instruction causes this thing to break, and then maybe I'll have a root cause, like a true root cause, because the apparent root cause is that things are public and so it's using the wrong function, and one of them has exceptions, the other one does not, and so even though the payload instructions are the same, the exception handling probably sets up additional stuff in the frame, which is unexpected when you jump between frames that have exception handling and those that do not. So yeah, I'm going to track it down, and hopefully I can pinpoint the exact instruction where it's actually breaking. And I was kind of hoping to also use Valgrind, but for some reason I can't set up Valgrind on OS 10. I was able to do it on Linux, but of course on Linux it works, so there's nothing to Valgrind.
Okay.
At least I've been able to establish on Linux that there is no use after free or anything like that could be slipping my gaze, But just because it's not happening on Linux, it doesn't mean that it's not happening on OS 10. So, but on OS 10, I don't have Valgrind to easily establish that. So now I have to do this by hand.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm basically digging deeper and deeper. But in the meantime,
you ran it with Valgrind on Linux and it didn't report anything?
Yeah, no, nothing unusual. Right. Okay. So that makes me think that it's even more OS 10 specific. So there's no way that it just happens to work on Linux. It really does work on Linux.
Okay. Yeah, Mateo would be, I think, copying Mateo and maybe copying Koopa.
Yeah.
CCing them just to see if they've got any comments on that front.
Okay.
Okay. The future breakage. Let's see here.
Hey, Michael, I think Nico is trying to join.
Yep. Okay. Let me find the participant list here. Participants. Okay. So I think, Jim, I don't know, you've been away. I'm not sure you've had any time to work on SQL 8.3.
Yeah, I was able to put in some good time this week. What I'm finding is that the work Samson has done is so old that attempting to cherry pick his commits is not working. I'm getting way too many conflicts. So what this means is I'm gonna have to really buckle down and understand how it works.
Okay.
So it's in process. I was able to get in some good time this week, but it's gonna be a process.
Okay, that sounds good. So it's probably good to have you understand it fully anyway, because
I think so.
When we submit a PR, we'll have to explain the changes and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Okay, sounds good. I'm just looking to see if there's any others that we needed to talk about or have an update on. I think so. Nicola, you were, I think, you'd submitted a new PR for ICONV.
Yes, but I'm waiting the answer from the maintainer or the review.
Okay.
If you want, I can ping them on the PR.
I mean, I don't know how long it's been since you submitted it or whatever. I just thought we'd see if there was an update.
And for Bcrypt, they will drop the Bcrypt with classical API when Node 8 will go out of maintenance.
Okay, so that's the end of this year.
Until that time, I will try to maintain in sync the NAPI version of the module. So we will have two alternatives. One built with an API and the other with classical API.
Okay. Sounds good. Time. This one, I guess I just need to catch up with Glenn. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything else to talk on this front. Anything people want to add? Okay. Issues raised by module owners. Anything that people want to bring up this week? I don't have anything. It sounds like nobody else does either. I did land the one that we were working, one of the ones that came up last week. I think here. So I think 458 was landed, and really the one we talked about with Gabriel is the other one that we're thinking about. I don't know if there's any activity on 442.
So I've been working on this a little bit here.
Okay.
So what I've noticed, because I've been working on creating the documentation off of the branch, and going through it, I noticed that some of the APIs don't match up completely with NAPI, particularly the use of the context with the thread safe function. So that's sort of what have been commenting down there.
Okay.
And there's also seems to be some missing overloads, because when you create the function, the finalize data, and context are all optional with the NAPI create, let's say, function, but they're not necessarily optional with Node add-on API with this implementation. So I'm adding those overloads as well, and then going to be documenting that.
Okay. Sounds good. So you're sort of helping to push this one forward, right?
Yes.
Okay. That sounds good. Okay, great. So we'll see where that is when we get around to making a release, and that's good. And I don't think so. If there's no other ones that people want to bring up, I don't have anything else this week. Does anybody else have anything else? Actually, no, I will say no. I think there is a couple more things that maybe we should talk about. One is API stable. I did open an issue for submissions to NodeConf.eu. So I'm just thinking that we should start thinking about talks that we want to submit to the main conferences this year. NodeConf.eu, the call is already open and closes the 31st of May. So we have a bit of time, but it's probably time to start thinking about them. And then I suspect we can reuse those for a number of the other ones, like the Node Interactive and Node Summit when they're announced. So maybe what I'll say is this week, people can think about talks and workshops that they think we should do, and next week maybe we can spend some of the time of the meeting actually writing them down in this issue or commenting on what people have already suggested.
I was actually thinking about doing a talk. It's probably going to be for Node Summit. I'm not sure if I can make it to NodeConf.eu this year, but Node Summit almost certainly, since I live in the area now.
Yeah.
And the talk I was thinking about doing is called the life and times of a native add-on. So basically, tracing it from where you say require all the way to where it returns the module.exports, and just going through the stack. First the JavaScript where it resolves the path, etc., and then the loading process, and highlighting the same things that I highlighted in my blog post, only at greater length. Where we added all these features to make modules loadable multiple times. That we added an API so that they behave even more like JavaScript modules. You don't need to recompile them and stuff, and basically just walk the audience through the process of loading a native add-on.
Yeah, no, that definitely sounds like an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, so that was my sort of thought so far.
I'm still thinking we also want to propose some which are like the workshop we did last year, or even
yeah, for sure.
With especially the one in NodeConf.eu last year, we seemed to get a pretty good bump after that one. So
yeah, that was pretty good.
I think continuing to sort of push on the, hey, what it is, why you should be using it, then as well as the other ones like that you described, which is, it's good to have the more generic, hey, add-ons in general and all the interesting things.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. If and when we manage to pull this together, I'd love to like, assuming my talk gets accepted, I'd love to sort of give a shout out to a workshop that we might be having, you know, and then
Yep.
get people to actually do the things that I talked about, you know.
Right.
Like, you know, at NodeConf EU, we basically got FS events, right, because of NodeConf EU. So
Yep.
that was a pretty good gain, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think, you know, basically pushing to get those workshops again and some talks to go along with it is definitely a good thing.
For sure. Yeah, because there's still a lot of work to do.
Looks like we have like 162,000 or 163,000 almost downloads per week.
Yep.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, yeah, it's good to see that that's starting to ramp up, and I think we just need to keep on the push.
You know, 184 dependents.
Yeah, I hear more and more often now. It's like, oh yeah, well, somebody ported this to an API, or
you using Node on API, no doubt, most often.
Yes, that's quite common.
Yeah, great.
I don't know if it's a coincidence, but the download increased after the workshop that we did in NodeConf EU.
Yeah, well, I think that's definitely one of the places where we got some more visibility and people started to use it. So yeah, no, I think that's why I think we really want to do some more of these, because last time that one worked so well.
I think workshops make a ton of sense all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so if, you know, everybody can sort of think about that over this next week, you know, and then we can, you know, and start pasting ideas and stuff that you have in there for the different talks, and then we can sort of brainstorm and hopefully hash out a set to submit.
Okay.
I don't know, Gabriel, do you want to talk about the blog post at all?
Yes. I wanted to. Wait, let me just paste the link here. If I still have it in my clipboard.
I read the blog post, but Michael wrote all that in a better way, obviously. What was what were my idea? So it's a very good article.
Okay. Thank you all for reading it, and please, everybody else who hasn't read it, please have a look at it and poke holes in it. The more, the better.
I don't know the audience, but when I write an article, I start with the beginning. Just say, okay, what is an native add-on? So if you want this part in the first at the beginning of the article, just explain what is a native add-on, because maybe if someone don't know what is a native add-on, don't understand all the subsequent things. Maybe I don't know. It's
right,
just,
right. Okay.
And sort of why you'd want to use one. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and maybe paste a few links to popular ones from NPM that the people might be familiar with, just to illustrate that they are out there and they are in heavy use and stuff like that. Yeah, okay,
that's a good idea.
Because many people don't know that they use native add-on every day, but they don't know that they are native add-on.
Right.
Yeah.
Good, excellent. Thank you. That's an excellent idea. I'm definitely going to add that to the front.
Yeah, just as a little introduction.
For sure, absolutely. Okay,
In
thanks.
terms of publishing, where are you planning to publish first?
Well, I was going to take the PR approach, where if there's no activity for a week, then I start approaching the folks in marketing and and converting it to Word doc as you suggested, or not Word doc, but rather a Google doc as you suggested, and then starting to get them to make sure that all the brand names and everything are properly attributed and everything. Although I think
the foundation marketing.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's the foundation medium is where you're targeting it. That's the.
Yeah.
Well, sounds good.
So I'll do this, and then maybe I'll let it sit for a while, and then I'll approach the folks with the Google Doc and go from there. So I'll definitely do Nicola's suggestion first.
Sounds good.
Thanks all for looking at it, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was me.
Anything else we should talk about this week? If not, I guess we can call it for next week. I won't actually be able to make it next week. So maybe we need a volunteer to chair the meeting.
Yeah, I could probably do it.
Okay.
But it'll be on Hangouts though, right?
Okay.
We need to revive the old link.
Yeah, I think it's in the invite still.
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't Hangouts going to be phased out or something like that?
There is a new Google Meet thing, so you might be right, but I don't think they're gone yet.
Right. Yeah, we can use it for as long as we can use it, and then we'll have another backup.
Yeah. And actually, Gabriel, I should probably get you access to the foundation Zoom account, so you could just use that.
Sure. Yeah, I'll probably be extremely rusty at first.
Well, it's just a user ID password, and then you can start up the webinar or whatever. But yeah, we should do that too.
Right, and the streaming on YouTube thing, that's very new to me. So
that's quite easy from the Zoom.
Okay.
So once we get you access, it'll be easy enough to show you how to do that.
All right, cool. I don't know if I can do the spiffy background that you do, but I'll do something.
Yeah, that's not tied to Zoom, but you can. But
I know, but I'm hardly set up for it.
Yeah. Okay, great. So everybody will you get together next week, and I'll see you all in a couple weeks. Well, actually, I'll be around this week. I just won't be around the week after.
All right.
Okay.
Talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye,
everybody.
Bye.